Eric Goldstein is the Human Rights Watch Deputy Director for Middle East and North Africa. He joins us now live from Washington. Thanks so much for joining us, Eric. This obviously isn't just about the deportation of one of your employees. It says something to you about a country that prides itself for being a beacon of democracy in the Middle East, does it not?
Well, Israel has allowed us to work there for 30 years, but this is a serious deterioration of the situation, not just for Human Rights Watch, but for all human rights activists. Palestinian activists have been arrested. There are new restrictions on Israeli human rights organizations. Foreign human rights activists have been denied entry at the border, but this is the first time that they're actually expelling somebody who's been living in the country and doing his job for 2 years now.
So how do you plan to pursue this case?
Well, first of all, we will continue to cover human rights abuses by the Israelis, by all parties in Israel and Palestine, whether Omar is forced to leave or not. We are hoping that the government will reconsider what this means for freedom of expression in Israel and not carry out this deportation that the Supreme Court, unfortunately, today has validated. So we are, in any event, going to continue to do our work as we do it in other countries, such as Egypt, such as Cuba, that have denied Human Rights Watch access to the country. We do our job anyway.
You know, it's remarkable. One Human Rights Watch official had said that the way Omar Shakir is being treated in Israel and by being deported actually does compare with how some of the Human Rights Watch people have been treated in countries like Egypt, Iran, even North Korea.
Yes, exactly. Israel, until now, has been giving human rights organizations relatively good access, with the exception of Gaza, of course, and that's a huge exception. But now we see the deterioration, the increasing intolerance for human rights activism, efforts to basically isolate and cut off Palestinians from the international community by doing acts like this. And we will not allow the government of Israel to dictate who it is that covers the country. This is something that we do, and we will continue to do it going forward, impartially, covering all sides of the conflict.
I'd like to ask you a broader question then before we go. I mean, are you seeing a trend of sorts worldwide of leadership that just doesn't care all that much about its image regarding human rights when there used to be a lot of concern before?
Yes. Well, unfortunately, we are seeing a trend like this. What stands out here is that Israel is in that company, probably the country that most tries to broadcast its image of being a democratic country. And yet it is expelling our researcher. And that's unusual in the company that Israel is now joining.
You know, just quickly, though, before I let you go, Israel's particular issue with the boycott, divest, and sanction movement, the BDS movement, it's almost like that kind of stands in a league of its own in Israel. Is there a defense for Israel in that respect that Omar Shakir, okay, I know it's just an accusation right now, but if he was supporting that movement, can Israel say it is fair for us to draw the line there?
Well, first of all, Human Rights Watch takes no position for or against BDS, boycotting Israel. And Omar, as our employee, has never deviated from that position. What we have called for is on businesses to fulfill their human rights responsibilities by ending their ties with settlements. The shocking thing in the Supreme Court decision today is that they upheld the law that says that even taking such a position on settlements is tantamount to boycotting and delegitimizing Israel. And that's a very grave step because the settlements are seen as illegal internationally. And we are just urging Israel to maintain legality. We're urging businesses to keep up with their human rights responsibilities. And that now is seen as intolerable free speech in Israel. And for that reason, Omar is paying for it by being expelled.
Eric Goldstein, great to have you. Thanks so much for speaking to us on TRT World.